YouTube channel. My name is Berry. Today we're watching your work confessions. And most people wouldn't believe this, but I had a job. I know, I went outside and I did work. Now I have a job. So let's see what everybody's confessing at work.
Hello.
Hello? Adele?
It's D. That was my worst intro ever. Hey y'all, it's your favorite gambling man. Back
I
with
love
another
gambling.
confessions video. You and I know the gist by now. You guys send me your confessions and I read them while crying on the inside.
Yes.
This time the topic was work confessions. Bad things or unusual stuff that happen at your workplace. And I know half of you guys are unemployed, but don't get me wrong, you guys still send me the good stuff. Some of your confessions were a little bit mild, while at the same time, some of your confessions were a little bit wild. And
I did have somebody during a confession stream that I did that I think's on the gaming YouTube channel. You guys told me that you would go to stores, get the uniform online, steal stuff from that store because they thought you worked there, and then go home. There are some little criminals in the BerryCrepe chat. Yes.
at the end of the day, I come to the same conclusion, is that I hope all your bosses watch this video. Let's just get into it. First, I don't got no damn job. I work in a school as a student. One of my classmates made 2 holes in the walls of my classroom. You work in school as a student? When did that become a job? I've been a student for basically all my life, and I never got paid squat. I've been more than 12 good years working, and I never saw a cent. I never saw a cent. I need my reparations. My brother's boss at Little Caesars was giving.
This is where you all call me a nerd again, and I tell you that I did like going to school. But that meant that I didn't have to be home, so that's why I kind of liked it.
People raises if they did the nasty, even the men. Second story, a Karen at a local McDonald's was mad her nuggets weren't out in time. It was a 1-minute wait and she threw a fit. She was also very obese. So she hurled her fat over the counter and tried fighting the cashier. She didn't land one punch, and she got punched once and was knocked out cold. Lastly, a customer at
I love Arby's. I already know that's the beef and cheddar. Look at that! Doesn't that look delicious?
Arby's was mad over curly fries and pulled out a gun and started firing. Honestly, I'm still stuck at the first confession, cause did your brother like take the raise? Like I'm not judging. I'm not judging. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do in this life. But did he take the raise? Like how big was the raise? You know, if it was like an extra $10 an hour with a free side of crazy bread and wings.
Do people get big raises? I remember one time I asked to be switched to a different position. I wanted to be a server instead of a hostess. And they said, well, if you stay as a hostess, we'll give you an extra 50 cents an hour. That's the only raise I've ever seen. 50 cents.
That's kind of tempting. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, but like everybody else doing it, I might as well join in. And for the curly fries run, I kind of understand it. When you order food and you expect a certain kind of standard to it and it comes back mid, I'm gonna start going crazy on the spot and start rapping to the cashier saying, let's play a little game I made. All you gotta do is pick a candy ball, one gotta play. Some people be serious about their curly fries.
I love curly fries.
Yeah, whatever. More of the story, except all opportunities to get in a raise. I work as a teller at my state's credit union. I once had a woman who was cleaning money from her account. She had a bunch of Zelle deposits from her dad, but turns out her dad has been dead for 6 months, and she was pretending to be him, withdrawing from ATMs and transferring money from his account to hers without permission. Needless to say.
Well, I mean, is he using it? Is he gonna pay Danny Phantom for his services?
She didn't get the money. I'm having trouble understanding this confession. I mean, I might be stupid, but like, I'm still having trouble with it because I don't see anything she did wrong. I mean, I bet this is marked as a crime under some random law somehow, but I still don't see what she did wrong.
I mean, like, technically, maybe he has, like, other kids, and that was supposed to be, like, dispersed among all of the children, and maybe, like, his wife and stuff like that. But, you know...
Dad's dead.
Yeah, and estate tax. You're right.
What does he need the money for? Who is she gonna ask for permission? His coffin? She gotta ask the bank for permission to her dad's money? Like, why? Why does the bank need the money for? Like, come on, man. You holding her up from showing off her emotion. And for what? Her dead dad that's not gonna use the money? I don't see any problem with what she did. I mean, I bet if I did some research, I probably would, but I'm not. I'm gonna be on her side, blind. I don't care. Go get your dead dad's money, girl. I used to work at KFC, and for some reason, my coworkers started putting like 10...
Okay, ignore the Papa's Burgeria with the giant stack of C-word. But was that Colonel Sanders breaking it down?
Dead dad's money, girl. I used to work at
Is this how they advertise the KFC console?
KFC, and for some reason my coworker started putting like 10 squirts of mayo on every sandwich that I was ordered, and this person provided some evidence alongside with it too.
Ew.
If I ever open up my fast food bag and I see a mayonnaise sandwich has been replaced for
Don't go to Burger King then. They just be splooging mayo all over the hamburgers. I don't know who's using the squirter machine back there, but lay off.
my burger, I'm chucking that sandwich back at that worker, not gonna lie. No, you won't. You right, I won't. I worked as a waiter in this smaller little restaurant. After someone left, I picked up the dishes like a normal person would. There was this guy who worked in the back who would clean the dishes really fast, so everyone kind of relied on him. Until one day we caught him not washing the dishes, but licking them.
Oh! No. Maybe his Oshi came in or something.
Till they're clean. Anyways, not long after, the place shut down to no surprise. Bro was just cleaning the leftovers off, making sure the place was spick and span.
I mean, if you
Bro
ain't
was
eat
just
it.
doing his job, and the fact that y'all relied on him meant he was a diligent worker. He did nothing wrong. I mean, I wouldn't eat there, or let my family eat there, or let my friends eat there, or let my dogs eat there, but hey, to each their own. Basically, I used to work in this Mexican restaurant. Reason I applied there, I always kept getting rejected by other places. McDonald's, Taco Bell, and other last resort jobs. Dang, nobody want you. But I was able to get a job at this restaurant for $3 an hour as a servant. Bro, you don't got a job, you're a slave. That is not a job, you are a servant. This is the type of job I'd take if I had debt to owe to the boss. At first, I came in for the training, which the restaurant didn't really teach much. So I had to teach myself, but customers were weird AF. I had to serve a group of friends that were senior citizens, and they were showing pictures of their private parts to each other.
Oh! Why? Why, old people? I don't want to see your Arby's meat mountain. Keep it to yourself.
In public. And I saw that while I was taking their order. More of the story, work somewhere non-food related, such as AutoZone, where I'm happy. Old people be weird sometimes. They're either the most intelligent, loving people you've ever met in your life, or they're second to babies. All the old people I personally know are loving and intelligent though. You know, I love your grandma. But then there's sometimes those old people that be coming up to me talking in gibberish like, and I just gotta laugh it off like, I don't even know what they said. Yeah, old people be weird sometimes, but I'm glad that you freed yourself from the shackles of slavery and now work at AutoZone.
Now that I think about it, I did make $2.75 as a server because you rely entirely on tips. So maybe that's exactly what happened. And what would happen is at the end of the week, you would get your check, right? And it would be $0 every single time because all the money I made that was $2.75 an hour went to taxes. So I never made like a cent in checks. It was always just tips.
Proud of you, bro. I'm happy that you're happy. Worked at a clinic around 18 years old. Got paid in gift cards. Coworker got shot. And I had to see a patient myself once. Imagine having some kid come in asking you about your jaundice. The hell is a jaundice? Jaundice, a medical condition with yellowing of the skin or whites of the eyes, arising from excess of the pigment bilirubin and typically caused by obstruction of the bile duct.
I don't know Billy or a Reuben.
The hell is bilirubin?
I know!
Bilirubin, an orange-yellow pigment formed in the liver by the breakdown of hemoglobin and excreted in bile.
What's in carrots? Can't you eat enough carrots to where you turn orange? I don't know why I believe that. That could be entirely incorrect.
What the hell is a hemoglobin?
Is it your blood?
Hemoglobin, a red protein responsible for transporting oxygen in the blood of viltrumites.
Oh,
okay. Working for any kind of politician gotta be one of the worst jobs, not gonna lie. I once got an internship.
This is like the third time JFK has been referenced today. I don't know why this is following me.
For this dude I didn't know much about. And every day there'd be crazy people coming into his office screaming, holding signs with actual blood on them, making death threats, and just being altogether vile. I don't know if it's because the guy was Republican or something, but it traumatized me and made me never want to work in the private sector again. Honestly, you didn't even have to tell me to know this. There's no such thing as an honest politician, bro. I can almost guarantee that the higher on the ladder the politician is, the more likely the employees will be treated like garbage. I just don't like the politics space in general.
Okay, this might prove how weird I am, but was that the sound from the grapefruit video? Do you guys know the grapefruit video? I hope not, for your own sanity. But it was this lady a long time ago where she talked about the grapefruit method, where whenever she would, you know, participate with putting wee-wee in her mouth, she would use a grapefruit. And she would show you how to grapefruit your man to keep him happy.
Because the more you look into it, the more you're like, damn, man, everybody a piece of huh? I would never want to work in that space. Unless I'm gonna be president. I better be the president. First law, I'm the only dude on Tinder. All the girls have to swipe right on me. Why the hell I still have no matches? One of my coworkers' boyfriends started working with us recently. He got yelled at by a stupid bitch manager. Oh my God, I hate that stupid bitch! Anyways, the dude got yelled at by the manager, and it got to the point where he freaking snapped at that. He started insulting her, raising his voice to the point he turned red. The girlfriend tried to step in, pushing him to the side. He pushed her off and yelled,
"Oh, what the F is up, Denny's?
Freaking touch me!" Another co-worker pulled up to stop him, and that's where he went berserk. He was pushing him while yelling, "I'm gonna kill you! You!" The people in the restaurant had enough and tried to fight him because the majority of the staff and customers were Hispanic and Latino. He panicked and went outside, locking the customers inside. He later got chased by 2 old Mexican folk with freaking machetes.
What?
Can you believe that? Machetes. Unfortunately, he got away and is about to get fired. Why isn't he already fired, bro? That story is crazy.
Wow.
And by the sounds of it, you hate your manager too. Is your manager Chris Rock or Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen? I don't know, man. Crazy story. I don't even know what to say. Just crazy. When I was younger, I worked at McDonald's. It was painful and tiring, and I ended up getting myself
bad
fired.
for them.
One day at 1 p.m., I was making French fries till this guy named Michael showed up. He caused employees to freaking quit or get fired. He messed up the employees' work like putting food poisoning in it. What? Today's was the most evil ever. He got up on the counter, put his pants down, including underwear, and then he started peeing while the French fries were boiling. He told the manager that I peed in the French fries to let me know the cameras were broken and nobody was in the kitchen. Turns out Michael was the son of the manager and he believed Michael always. When I served the food to the customer said, "It smelled like piss," which ended up me getting fired. But I would hate working with an employee like this, and I would hate having a boss like this. Bosses having kids work for them.
Bosses make or break your experience. I've had times where I had a great manager, then they moved to another store, and the new manager makes you want to quit. 9 times out of 10, it's not the job, it's just the people who work above you that make a place insufferable.
And then obviously treating them with more respect and bias just because they're their kids. Like, I could never imagine working in a working environment like that. It just sounds too annoying. And the fact that you got fired for him peeing in the fries? Bro, sue. Sue. I don't know what you're suing for, but sue. Just sue. One time when I was 5 and was still in China, my work master gave me 4 more hours of work for messing up the seam on a poop emoji plushie. Trying to relate to my international audience. Share this video with Winnie the Pooh. I worked at a pizza place, and when the customers were kinda rude, I would make sure to spit on that hoe. My coworker, on the other hand, would lay his balls on some pizza.
Ew! Come on, I do not want some ball sweat on my pizza. No way!
Good time. All right, I got a lot of confessions.
Yes, I wanted extra cheese, but not the one that starts with the letter S, please. You can keep that. I don't want that.
Some of you guys working in fast food and doing disgusting things to the person's order. Before break, the worst teacher came in the drive-thru, so we put fart spray on his burger.
Oh, no.
I spat in this guy's burger for being an a-hole, and it turns out the burger was for his kid, and the kid ate it. My friend has a habit of sneaking rat poison in his customers' meals.
That can't be real.
Hasn't been caught yet. Isn't that illegal? You trying to kill your customers? What kind of habit is that? That guy is not normal. He's a serial killer in the making. I worked at Wendy's. I peed in somebody's drink. They thought it was pineapple Sprite. All right, that one gotta be fake, but that's not the point. You guys are making me a little scared to go to these fast food chains because after reading these confessions, I think half my food gonna be spat in or have rat poison in it. Y'all legit crazy. But based on what I read, most of the time it's just for customers that are kind of rude to them. And honestly, looking through their lens and perspective, I could understand it. I'm not saying it's right or justified or anything, but if I worked at fast food and you were rude to me when you're ordering your food, I might add a little extra sauce to your food. Like sometimes customers be tweaking at the employees at these fast food places just because they got their order slightly wrong.
Well, Well, because they feel like they're allowed to. Like, how many times do people say even they don't put their cart back? They go, oh, well, it's someone's job to do that. Oh, well, it's someone's job for, you know, to take my order. And if they're not doing it right, then I'm going to yell at you. I don't know. It's like a power structure thing. Sometimes customers act like Reddit mods. I don't know how to explain it.
Or the customer got an attitude at the start. Like, I bet 95% of the time it's just gonna be normal customers saying normal orders. And then there'll be those one customers that be like, you forgot the pickles! Making a scene, yelling at you like you're not about to make their food in the back of the kitchen where they can't even see you. You try to start a fight with me, I'ma put a Shrek Twinkie in your bag and say that's your burger. Like,
yeah, the customer is not always right. I hate that saying because a lot of the time they're always wrong.
to act exactly like this person I'm about to read right here. Worked at Bojangles when I was 15.
I've never been there. I want to go.
One of my coworkers a rat because his chicken was taking too long. So my dude fried a dead rat he kept in the freezer for a moment like this. No one but me and him knows this. See,
guys, I have a really bad problem. It's called the suspension of belief, okay? Anytime I read a story on Reddit, anytime I read viewer confessions, I think, ain't no way that's real. I should play in Fantasyland and pretend that it's all real, but I just can't. Not everybody here is telling the truth.
These people be waiting for moments like this, and I'd be one of them. If I'm working at Mickey D's and a customer start cussing at me, I prayed for times like this. I'm gonna put monkey brains in your burger. Honestly, I'd probably be one of those petty workers, man. Like, if I worked at Starbucks and someone asked for extra whipped cream on their iced coconut latte, I'm gonna be like, extra whipped cream? Nah, I gotta dip my feet in your drink, bro. You're doing too much. If you had the opportunity to eat Bob's Burgers versus my bum's burgers, I reckon you take Bob's. My bum don't taste good. I would know. I worked at Starbucks in 2017, and I would put some pills in customers' drinks around the holidays. No cap, I went to jail for 2 years and 6 months probation. The pills weren't any bad ones, just ones that made you feel good, like dopamine.
He's justifying it by saying he put a little magic, funny little mushrooms in there. I don't want him. What the heck? I don't know. We watched a video a long time ago where a guy was touching somebody's feet and he went to jail for 20 years. Honestly, like, trying to drug customers, I think should be a little longer than 2 years. That is insane.
I got some psychopaths in my audience. So back then, I used to work at a gas station in high school. The only reason I worked there because it had good pay and my homie was working there too. So working at a gas station, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff go down. I've seen people get shot, stabbed, etc. So at that point, nothing really surprised me until one day, me and my homie were just doing our jobs. I was ringing up customers and homie was sweeping. Until this guy came in, normal looking guy, asked for a pack of rhino pills. Nothing crazy, people get that all the time. Until I hear barking. I don't think much of it until I see a full-grown adult man walking on all four.
He better at least have a goth baddie on the other end of that leash. If she's anything below a 6, he lost.
And I would have just, okay, what the heck, if it wasn't for the fact he had on a dog mask on with a
there we go,
belt. And it's not like he had pants on either. He walked in bare cheeks out and a bra on. What the actual is happening right now?
Well, he had to go to the bathroom. How is he supposed to wear pants if he's got to go potty?
Now, so the guy I was ringing up said, who's a good boy? And pet him. So at that point, I left out, like, I was shocked. I don't judge kinks, but I'm gonna judge this one.
I judge it if it's in public. Do whatever you want in your house, but my eyes did not consent to see this. Can you please keep it at home?
Weird if you do this in public. You traumatized my homie right here. He was just trying to work at the gas station. You pull up in full Metal Gear Solid uniform for you and your partner to do those activities for everybody to see.
Yeah.
Not everybody want to see that, bro. Leave that behind closed doors. For a short period of time, I was working at this hardware store. And when I applied, my brother told me that the owner of the store is racist and I wasn't going to get hired because I'm Muslim. And when I applied, I did notice that every single worker was white. But I ended up getting the job for some reason. My brother was pretty surprised. Turns out my brother was right. The owner was racist. Every time I came into work and he was there, he would always pat me down to make sure I didn't have any contraband on me. Never once did I see him do that to any of the other workers. And one day, when I had gotten done cleaning the toilet, for some reason I was the only one getting that duty, I walked past his office
no
and
pun
his door
intended.
was slightly open. And I heard bro on the phone with someone and he was talking about how he didn't trust me. And he straight up said I was a because I was Muslim. After that, I knew I needed to
Oh
do
my
something.
God.
So instead of quitting, I hid a brick of inside his office when he wasn't at work. And where I live, that stuff is mad illegal. I then gave an anonymous tip to the police in our town, and he got arrested like a week later.
Why is this like a Thieves Guild quest line? I don't know. This has like Oblivion vibes. We need you to plant this and get this dude fired.
I love your vids, cutie. W. Nothing but a W, bro. The only other option I could have thought of is suing him. You know, that's my only other option. I would have recorded him saying all that junk and I would have sued his ass. Or, second option, statements that my lawyer told me not to say, so I won't say it. But your idea, pretty good. Nice. Someone said LeBron was better than Kevin Durant. That's because he is. Don't ever disrespect my little goat like that. My little
I love the song where he goes, "Is the man on the Lakers?"
husband is never gonna be disrespected like that.
I've known this girl for more than 4 years and I like her. I've known her since middle school. I don't know, I just really like her.
What?
She already rejected me. That's why I don't talk to her. Because she asked me not to. But I can't get over her. She just my first love. Fleeting emoji. Fate has it we now work together. And it's been more than a year since the last time I saw her. And she's, been looking at me.
I'm not.
I've had a little glow up, so this isn't really a confession. I just need advice from someone I love, enjoy, and respect. 100
By the way, I'm not ugly.
emoji, 100 emoji, fire emoji, 100 emoji, fire emoji, 100 emoji.
I am so glad you asked this question. I have the perfect answer for you. So first, you gotta do this. Okay, this next story is a little too crazy to show any type of visuals for. So, in the meantime, I'm gonna read the story, and in your mind, I'll help you visualize everything that's happening right now.
Oh no.
My sister's coworker Amy got into a fight with this other coworker Jason because he spread a rumor that she injected her pee and poop into the burger patties, and they threatened to fire her over that.
That was it? Just fire her? For that?
Until she kept denying it. So they went into the parking lot and started throwing hands.
Whoa!
What Jason didn't know is that Amy had put a plastic bag up her before they went into the parking lot. She took like 6 laxatives,
What?
and then when they were fighting, she pooed her pants with wet diarrhea.
Please don't throw your pants at them. Please, 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 please.
So after they were done fighting, Amy said,
"See if you can spread this around."
and she reached into her pants and pulled out the plastic bag.
Hey, what's that?
And it was one of those where you could zip it up shut.
Oh, not
So
the
the plan for
Ziploc.
her was to throw it at him, but for it to be closed. And she didn't close the bag before she threw it.
Well, how was she supposed to close the bag with like the strength of her butt cheeks? Imagine she just pooped and then her butt like slid the Ziploc.
So she threw it, and wet poo landed all over his face and clothes.
Ew, what the hell?
And wet diarrhea poo landed on the people standing around her. And everyone stood there, frozen. Some of them were screaming in disgust. And a police car drove by. Then Amy booked it. Some people say they saw her in Alaska. We live in California.
Yeah, why am I in the splash zone? Oh my god. At least they have her poop now. They could like compare it, maybe make like a poop burger and see if they taste the same.
The end. What a beautifully eloquent story. I feel like that confession was on Shakespearean levels of drama. Any
That
other
shit
day,
was
this would be an
crazy,
amazing note
literally.
to end on. But I have one more. And this
Another
one
one?
makes me feel like George R.R. Martin wrote this himself.
He's gonna cook.
So before I lay this
Hopefully
story
not the
upon
burger.
you, I just need to say this experience left me with mental scars to this day.
Oh,
So
no.
last year in 2022, it was a breezy and warm summer night shift at the Steak and Shake I was working.
I love Steak and Shake. This is gonna ruin it. That was someplace I always went to in college because it was so cheap. I don't know if it is now, but it was so good.
It was just me and my homie since the boss left early that shift. There wasn't any customers, so we were just chilling for the most part. Suddenly, the front door slams open and enters a pregnant lady. But not any pregnant lady.
Okay.
For you see, she was in labor. We both stood there as she struggles her way to the counter, grasping onto her stomach. We're both a bit shaken from the sudden entrance, but I ask her, Ma'am, are you okay?
You see what happens? Nobody can afford to go to the hospital. Now you have to deliver your babies while you're eating a number 2 from Steak and Shake.
She responds in an alarming tone.
Can you please take my order?
Okay, never mind. She doesn't even care that she's about to have a baby.
Homie is just flabbergasted and slowly walks towards the kitchen, leaving me to take her order. I feel my throat close up as I ask what she would like. A bacon and cheese double baked burger with chocolate milkshake.
Yeah, do you need a kid's meal too, or do you think he's gonna be okay?
Heavy breaths between nearly each word. We quickly prepare to order for her in the kitchen while trying to contact our boss. He just wouldn't answer. I don't know if his phone was dead or on Do Not Disturb, but we just couldn't call the homie. So we finished the order and rushed back to the counter to see the lady.
What was the name of the show where they would make it was a bunch of animals and they would like tier list the animals and they would always have like babies running around. They would be like, this is how fast a cheetah baby would be. Oh, wow. That brought back a lot of memories. Oh my God. Most Extreme. Yes. Yes, it was Most Extreme. I love that show.
Lady laying on the ground straight up ready to give birth. She yells, "Give me the food!" And we do so. We try to calm her down and suggest we call an ambulance for her, but she says,
I feel the triplets coming right now.
which just left me and my friend in a state of pure shock. She unwrapped her burger and started devouring it as we literally saw the baby pop out of her.
Oh my God, the baby was crowning. She should have went to Burger King instead.
Out of her pee-pee area. Oh my God.
And she was just pushing the poor kid out with all of her strength. She basically had to undress herself on the bottom to get her kid out safely. Bro, I felt so sick at that moment. I never wanted to see a pregnant woman unpants herself, but now I was forced to, because I literally had to help her give birth. Cut to 30 minutes later of this hell. 30 minutes of hearing her yell in pain as her newborn kids wailed out loud. 2 of the 3 kids were born in that time. And the absolute mess that was on the floor that she left. It was like spilled shake and burger pieces combined with all that birth liquid.
Oh my God, he's comparing it to burgers because that's all he knows. And now he's learned about the miracle of life?
I was going to vomit. My homie was just done at this point and left minutes ago since it was the end of our shift. I couldn't leave yet because I had the store key and only could dip when all the customers are gone. So finally, as she was taking a bite of her burger, we pulled out the last kid. It was finally over. The hellfire was finally over. The ambulance came and took the lady and her kids out of the restaurant. And I was asked about what happened from one of the paramedics, and I had to explain the situation while my hands were still shaking.
Oh my God.
Afterwards, I was the only one left there, completely traumatized from that ordeal. I had to clean up what was left of her labor. I remember walking home after that and crying on the sidewalk from how much damage that did to my conscious and mental state. Needless to say, I genuinely feel nothing.
Wow, I don't either. I feel like I just finished Final Fantasy VII.
Night. Love your vids, by the way.
Bro just made the most traumatizing story of his adolescence and said, love the vids.
They're the only sense of joy I will ever feel in this unforgiven earth.
Wow.
And in conclusion, Merry Christmas! Or wait, I'm late. Happy New Year! Bum, bitty, 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 bum, bum.
That was a great video. I love learning about other people's lives because it makes me feel like I'm also not the only crazy person.
And here lives a truly extraordinary species of octopus.